power play goal and a shorthanded goal, while the New Jersey, the extra man. And after one period of action here at the Brendan Byrne Arena in the Meadowlands in New Jersey, the Caps lead the Devils by a score of 2-1. Welcome back to Capitals Hockey on DC 20. I'm Al Koken, and joined during this first intermission by Capitals General Manager David Poile. David, we talked to Brian Murray at the beginning of the program and about the summit meeting the two of you had after the December 26th game, kind of the state of the Capitals. He was talking about it, the team. Give us your perspective how your team looks to you as we head into the new year.
Well, I think first of all, when we talk about summit meetings and what have you, I mean, we seem to have a crisis a day when you don't win in this business, and sometimes we overreact a little bit. I think the whole situation we're in right now is that our expectations have been so high since day one this season, and the fact that we're a couple of games below 500 doesn't sit too well with any of us. And I don't just speak for myself, I mean by the players too. I mean, nobody's very happy. We want to do better, and we're putting our best efforts forward to do that. So sometimes it's a case of a lot of meetings. Other times it's maybe shuffling a few players around, like bringing up a couple of younger players from the minors. But whatever it takes, we're going to do to get this thing turned around and to play consistent hockey, which I know we can. And I think by and large in the last week or so we've been playing much better hockey, especially defensively. I mean, we've been very solid defensively. Unfortunately, as everyone knows and keeps pointing to, we're not scoring as many goals as we'd like. But we get a few more goals, I think everything will just be fine.
You talk about shuffling things around. There has been some controversy, I don't know if it's justified, and maybe from other people, about the status of Brian Murray. Clear that up for us, if you will.
Well, I got trapped, I guess you might say, by making a statement that we were going to reassess our whole organization, and I was asked whether that includes not only the players but everybody, and I said it included everybody. But Brian's position is very safe and secure. I think that Brian is a very fine coach in the National Hockey League and has done a great job with the Capitals, and he is not going anywhere. And I think that he, along with the players, are tired of all the meetings, and they just want to win some hockey games.
Now let's talk about a couple of young players we're seeing in the lineup. Ivan Korovo, Capital fans should know a little bit, the #1 draft choice in '85. Have you been impressed with his progress?
Well, the other night in Toronto, he got a big assist. He knocked a player off the puck and made a play to Dale Hunter for a big goal. Tonight, he's been playing very physical. He had a breakaway, but he shot the puck a little bit early. Maybe that comes with the inexperience or what have you, but Ivan's big and strong, and he certainly looks like a hockey player. And, when Brian and I had talked, we just want to go with Richard and Korovo this week and see what happens, and if they're good enough, that'll be great.
Quickly tell us about Mike Richard, a guy a lot of people do not know about.
Well, Mike is your classic underdog. He's too small to play. He's not fast enough, and that's why he never got drafted, never got signed. But here he is 2 months into the NHL season, and it'd be great if he could score a goal.
Thanks for the visit, David. David Poile has been our intermission guest, and we'll return with more Capitals hockey from the Meadowlands in New Jersey after these messages on DC 20. After 20 minutes of play, the Capitals lead the Devils by a score of 2-1. We'll show you how the Capitals scored when we return after these messages here on DC 20.
At the end of one period of play at the Meadowlands tonight, Mike Fornes and Al Koken welcoming you back once again to our DC 20 hockey telecast this evening. Well, special teams sure played a big role in the first period, and the Capitals not only coming up with a big power play goal to get them off to a good start, but the shorthanded goal that early in the game really has to have an effect on New Jersey.
Well, specialty team play has become so important, and the Capitals jumped right off the bat. A good power play tally. Look at the way Larry Murphy will one-time this puck. Two guys paying attention to Ben Gustafson. That means there's got to be openings before the forward can come out to Murphy. He rips it on goal. It's a high shot. Bangs off Dale Hunter, past Bob Sauve, and the Capitals were off and running with that power play tally. Then they come back with a shorthanded goal. It's 2-on-1. Now watch how Gustafson does all the work. He's got Hunter to decoy. Mark Johnson moves over. It's that little fake, and then the move to the middle to not only get Johnson in the way, but also to better his shooting angle. That's where Gustafson is able to then rip it through Bob Sauve, who's got to move along with him when he makes that move. It opens up the legs of Sauve, and they score. But the Devils get a power play tally, and this is just good passing and good work, and a terrific finish by Jim Korn. You see how they move it along the points and then get it to Korn. I mentioned when we saw it how it was a difficult shot to handle. That puck was coming right into his feet. He had to get the stick down in his skates and then turn it to get the shot on goal. And this is a guy not known for his goal scoring. So that's a real good play by Jim Korn.
I thought the Capitals got a real good first period as well out of Ivan Korovo, who played a strong hitting game.
Ivan Korovo has got to play that type of game, and what a wide open chance for him. The Capitals are looking for a guy to play that style, to hit to do some things around the net. Ivan Corvo is handed that opportunity. He's getting plenty of ice time also. He's up there on a good line, as we talked about, with Hunter and Christian. So he really is going to get a big chance. And Ivan Corvo showing the things he's got to do. And I know the Capitals like what he did in Toronto. And when he starts throwing his weight around and charges to the net, it can only enhance his chances of staying for the rest of the year.
The Capitals outshot the Devils 12-10 during the first period. We'll be back with the play-by-play of period number 2, and we'll check the out-of-town scoreboard right after we pause for these words.
20. Tonight's Capitals hockey game is brought to you in part by the Masonry Institute. Watch out, Washington. Break and block our back. By your Washington area Buick dealers. By K Jewelers, the Diamond People. By Safeway. And by Toyota. There's quality, and then there's Toyota quality. Who could ask for anything more?
We're back at the Brendan Byrne Arena here in the Meadowlands of New Jersey. The Capitals have a 2-1 lead over the Devils after one period of play. Let's check our out-of-town scoreboard right now. Toronto is at Hartford tonight, and the Whalers have taken a 1-0 lead in the first period on Kevin Dineen's 14th goal of the season. Ron Francis had the assist to give the Whalers the 1-0 lead. There are 4 other games being played in the league tonight. They are all later on. In the NBA, the Portland Trail Blazers have a lead over the Bullets. It's 55-41, and that is a second quarter score. Right here, the Caps coming up with a power play goal from Dale Hunter. Bengt Gustafsson with a shorthanded goal, and then Jim Korn on the power play for New Jersey. Gustafsson's shorthanded goal is his 4th shorthanded goal of the year, and that puts him now in a 7-way tie with 6 other players who have also scored 4 goals shorthanded this year. Bernie Nichols, Steve Larmer, Dave Poulin, Dennis Savard, Wayne Gretzky, and Håkan Loob have all scored 4 shorthanded goals. So has Gustafsson. You realize there are 2 teams in the league that are on the low end of that spectrum. The Hartford Whalers have their team has scored 3 shorthanded goals. The Buffalo Sabres only has 2. And these 7 players have 4 individual.
And look at, you talk about some big names, Savard, Gretzky, and the infamous Håkan Loob. I know Steve Buckhantz at WTTG, Channel 5, Eck in Washington, D.C. has been keeping a Håkan Loob watch, keeping everybody posted on how the Calgary Flame Winger's going. So Håkan Loob right up there in the shorthanded goal, Steve.
I guess he's quite a flashy dresser. I know there are people who just try to emulate the way he dresses.
Get the Håkan Loob coat.
In winter wear. Here's a shot toward the net, but Sauve makes the stop. Sorella has a pretty good grip on Kelly Miller. And Sorella's going to go to the box for hooking. That'll put the Capitals right away on the power play. And what a fine turn of fortune here for Brian Murray's club. Once again, they'll have the man advantage.
Well, it's great. You know, even if they didn't get that penalty, the aggressiveness of Kelly Miller coming out is what's important. You got to get out there. You play that 60-minute game, and you got to start out those periods very strong.
2-minute prolongation at 17 seconds.
So Sorella pulling down Kelly Miller, and you get the Capitals back on the power play. We've hit once on the Circuit City contest tonight. How about Mary Schreiner of Gaithersburg, Maryland? Feel lucky tonight? She's chosen Dave Christian as the Caps player to score in this power play. If David scores, Mary receives a video or stereo unit courtesy of Circuit City. It'd be nice to get 2 of them. We've had 1 winner a couple times in games, never had 2. So keep an eye on David Christian for Mary Schreiner tonight of Gaithersburg, Maryland.
Dale Hunter with his 6th power play goal of the year earlier, coming up with our first Circuit City power play winner. Here's Murphy back into his own zone. Leads it ahead to Bengt Gustafsson. At the blue line, some stick contact from Patrick Sundstrom, and the puck goes into the seats. Detroit at St. Louis tonight. Boy, the Blues have really come on all the way from the last spot in the Norris Division. Now, tonight, they're up on the #1 spot in the Norris Division, playing against their rivals, the Detroit Red Wings. Minnesota at Chicago. Philadelphia at Edmonton. And later on out west, Winnipeg at Los Angeles.
Another team that has shown some patience. Ron Caron under a little bit of heat from some people to get rid of Jacques Martin because of the slow start. He said, you got to be crazy. Stayed with Martin and his team, and they're starting to show just what you can do when you're patient and you've got the talent to work with. It's a long season.
Patrick Sundstrom, shorthanded, goes back to the Washington line, and Scott Stevens works it free. Now over to Mike Gartner. Here comes Gartner for the Capitals. Gets it across the blue line, back inside the Devils' zone. Gardner in behind the net looking for the puck, but it's grabbed by Willan, and then he slaps it all the way down.
Devils doing a much better job killing off this penalty. They're standing up at the blue line, forcing the Capitals to dump in and chase, something you really don't want to do when you're working on a power play. You should be able to gain the zone on your own. Aggressive forechecking creates a turnover here.
Stolen puck by Loiselle, and he passes around Stevens, but Clint Malarchuk able to handle and puts it behind the net now for Larry Murphy. Capitals 2, Devils 1. We're just underway with the second period. Caps on the power play, and Dave Christian's out there. Over to Pavanka. Left side for Scott Stevens. He's across the line. Stevens to Murphy. Back to Stevens, and his stick was held up by Gordy Mark. Now play stopped as linesman Gord Brasiker sees that the Devils' net has been moved. They'll have to put that back in place on top of the magnetic post. And we'll have another face-off in front and to the left of Bob Sauvé.
The Capitals with just 23 seconds left to go in this power play opportunity. Brian Murray changing up lines and getting ready for the shift if he can't get something going here in these final 23 seconds. Now has his fourth line out there with Mike Richard, the rookie, between Craig Laughlin and Greg Adams. Bob Sauvé, as we talked about, has been terrific against the Capitals. Most of those good games he had came when he was playing with the Buffalo Sabres under Scotty Bowman. And Scotty Bowman, of course, the coach had used to give the Capitals nightmares, whether in Buffalo or in Montreal. So Sauvé was the beneficiary of a couple of great teams to work with when he ran up his big numbers against the Washington Capitals.
Loiselle beats Laughlin for the faceoff. The puck comes back to the corner for Bruce Driver. He's tied up by Laughlin now, and along the sideboards, Laughlin steals from Loiselle, but it comes out, and Patrick Sundstrom backhands it all the way inside the Capital zone. Here's Kevin Hatcher. Right side for Langway. Leads it ahead on the left wing, and that pass across two lines. The faceoff comes back to the Washington zone. There's Sorella, who will be out of the box in just 2 seconds.
Mike, as usual, a lot of Capital fans on the road with us. Some groups from Baltimore coming on up tonight. Charles Newsonoffs, Don, Sidney, and Alan, along with Mark Lazarow, Al and Norm Russell. All those people up from Baltimore. Kevin Connolly's got 5 friends here. They want to say hi to everybody back in Baltimore. And a big congratulations to the Northern Virginia Hockey Club, the Might Bees. They were up here for a youth hockey tournament over the holidays, and they won it. Beat 3 teams from New Jersey and took that hockey tournament here in Morristown, New Jersey. So congratulations to the Northern Virginia Hockey Club, the Might Bees, for their victory here in this Christmas tournament up in New Jersey.
Way to go. Puck cleared back inside the Capital zone, and here's Greg Adams to start out. He sends it all the way down. Penalty's over. Sorella's out of the box, and the Devils are back at full strength. Quick lead pass out for Kirk Muller. Gartner gets in there with his stick on it. He's bumped by Verbeek, and Curvers takes over now for New Jersey. Off the stick of Gustafson. Back inside the Washington zone for Scott Stevens. Stevens over to Gustafson. Right side pass. Kevin Hatcher out to center ice. Broughton slaps it free and puts it back into the Capital zone. Gustafson moves it to Stevens, out to Murphy. Or to Gartner, rather, and he dumps it in. Here goes Danico to the corner for the Devils. Backhands to the point, kept in by Stevens. Gustafson sets up Gartner, a flip shot on goal, and a save made by the pad of Bob Sauvé. Back comes Broughton. Into neutral ice, Greg Smith looks for Gartner, but Muller takes it over. Had the elbow up waiting on Kelly Miller. Quick lead pass. Broughton, wrist shot. Taken out by Greg Smith on the play, and now it's going to be a penalty call here as Broughton had something going with Greg Smith, held on to him. And as Smith swung back, he held up Broughton on the play, a hooking minor coming against the Capitals. There's a break in the action. The Caps lead the Devils 2-1.
Right now, your Washington area.
Another hooking call, this time to the Capitals' Greg Smith. 3:36 the time of the penalty. Broughton giving Smith a shot to the head, grabbed onto him, and in kind of a bit of retaliation, Greg Smith got the stick out, hooked Broughton. That was the call that Andy Van Hellemond made. And the New Jersey power play, which has also struck once tonight, as has the Capitals' extra man unit, hit for the ice for the first time in this second period.
Here's Bruce Driver back over to the right point now for Mark Johnson. Into the corner for Patrick Sundstrom. Scott Stevens tries to work it free past Jim Korn and sends it all the way down the ice. This is the same group that the Capitals victimized for that shorthanded goal by Gustafson back in the first period. With Johnson back on the point with Driver. Lead pass too far for Korn. Taken over by Kevin Hatcher, and he lobs it into the Devils' zone. Mark Johnson, former star of the 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey team, won a gold medal. Up on the right wing now to Patrick Sundstrom in the corner. Puts it behind the net for Driver. Stevens steals and clears. Mark Johnson since then playing with Pittsburgh, Minnesota, Hartford, and now here in New Jersey, where he has had the longest tenure of any of the teams that he's been with.
Amazing, a guy that good moves around so often, and everywhere he goes, they love him. It's just unbelievable how he hasn't stuck with anybody. Kind of a small player, but very steady, can play defensively. He's a good scorer. He's working the point now. And
I left one out. St. Louis.
St. Louis. He's in there with St. Louis for a couple of years. Son, of course, of Badger Bob Johnson, who was just retired after being the head coach of the Calgary Flames, now with the U.S. Olympic program and the U.S. hockey team.
Puck cleared off the corner boards, and Gustafson gets a stick on it over to Murphy, and he just wallops it off the glass, and it goes all the way back inside the Devils' end. Down to 25 seconds left in the Devils' power play. Mark Johnson leads it ahead now to Verbeek. Rink-wide pass, too far for Broughton. Off the backboard, Verbeek looking for Muller in front. That's taken away, and Kevin Hatcher eases it all the way down. 10 seconds left in Greg Smith's minor penalty for hooking. Broughton out to center ice. Kelly Miller tied up by Broughton. Smith's out of the box. The Capitals once again are at full strength. Hatcher with a shot on net. Sauvé makes the save. Here's Curvers to start out. Sorella all the way back to the Capitals blue line. Scott Stevens leads it out to Hunter. Sorella back in the corner. Plays it up the boards. At center ice, Scott Stevens takes charge and flips it back into New Jersey territory. Here's Curvers tied up. Ivan Corvo hooked. There's going to be a minor penalty against the Devils. And it's going to be Sorella going to the box as he hooks the Capitals' Dave Christian off his skates. There's a break in the action. With the score, the Caps 2, the Devils 1.
We're in the middle of a gangbuster last chance sellathon, and all Rosenthal locations are selling cars and trucks like never before.
Oops, there goes another one. This is our biggest savings event of the year with the biggest selection of the year.
Hundreds of imported and domestic cars and trucks all ready for delivery today. Going on now at Rosenthal Nissan Honda Mazda in the Rosenthal Auto Park, Tysons Corner, Virginia.
But you better hurry to Bob Rosenthal's last chance sellathon.
They're disappearing fast.
It's like magic.
Be sure to be with WDCA TV 20 Friday night, January 8th, as the Bullets travel to Boston to take on Larry Bird and the Celtics. That's live at 7:30. Join Mel Proctor and Phil Chenier as they call all the action right here on your superstation for sports, DC 20.
The puck cleared all the way down. Sorella in the box for hooking at 6:09 of the second period. Here's Gustafson back to take it behind the net. Washington on the power play. For the second time in this period, both times it's been Sorella in the box. Mike Richard wearing number 14. Back to the blue line for Gustafson. Over now to Murphy on the right point. He tries to center. That's cleared out of the zone and sent back into the Washington end of the ring. Mike Richard scored in points in 31 consecutive games in the American Hockey League with the Binghamton Whalers. Malarchuk has to hang on now and stop play. Richard breaking a record that had been set by Bob Sullivan, who was Hartford Whalers property, also playing with Binghamton.
Richard, though, had a little trouble right here. Watch the forechecker. Normally they spin away. The guy goes behind the net. But in around came Doug Brown, their rookie. And he created the turnover. Loiselle had a whack at it. Richard went down to help out Clint Malarchuk. But there's some of the inexperience showing. That's the things that Mike Richard has got to learn. You're up in junior hockey or even in the American Hockey League, where the level of competition is still pretty strong, and Richard was able to dominate. Here you have to be a little quicker, move the puck a little quicker, and it's always bigger guys that you're going against, bigger guys who are also fast guys, and Mike Richard learns a lesson there.
Here's Scott Stevens. Drops it off for Kevin Hatcher. Hatcher up to the center ice line. Sullivan steals and starts back. Sullivan right side. Patrick Sundstrom picks the top corner over Malarchuk's shoulder and scores a shorthanded goal. The Devils have tied the game at 2-2.
We talk about the mistake Mike Richard made. This was even worse, and this was done by a guy who's been in the league for a few years, Kevin Hatcher. He hands the puck away. Coming into Sullivan, he gets it over to Patrick Sundstrom. A terrific backhand that's so tough to defend against, but it was the turnover by Hatcher that gives Sullivan the start, and then nobody covers up. See, Scott Stevens trying to get to that puck in the middle. It bounces free, Patrick Sundstrom, and both teams have scored with a man advantage on the power play, and also they have both scored short-handed. Specialty teams dominating again in the second period, and this game is tied at 2.
7:05, the time of the New Jersey scoring play. Patrick Sundstrom's 9th goal of the season. This one comes short-handed from Doug Sullivan. Here's Scott Stevens back in his own end. Still 35 seconds left on the Capitals power play with Cirella in the box for the Devils for hooking. Terrific backhand shot by Patrick Sundstrom over the shoulder of Malarchuk. Here's Lachlan to Hunter. Dale Hunter in the corner. Brown sweeps it away, and the puck cleared all the way down by Loiselle. Scott Stevens back to chase it. Up the boards for Dale Hunter. Now to Stevens. Stevens bottled up in there. Doug Brown, the rookie, all over him, and finally the pass out comes to Greg Smith. Smith fires it in. Cirella back to the corner, throws it behind the net. Bruce Driver works up to center ice, inside the Washington line. Langway takes him out, and Greg Smith goes after the puck. Here's Langway. Out to Kelly Miller. Miller inside the New Jersey zone. Walks in and fires a shot deflected just wide. It hit Gordy Mark, the Devils defenseman. Now Muller starts out, has Gould right on him. The pass comes to Broughton, back to Muller, in across the line, stops to avoid Langway, and Rod Langway steals it. He starts ahead. Here comes Peter Sundstrom of the Capitals. Flips it toward the goal, and Sauvé sweeps it out. Over to Cirella, who's out of the box. Now to Muller. In across the blue line. Bill Holder gets a piece of it and clears it up ahead to center ice. Richard to Greg Adams. Drop pass for Richard. That's stolen. Back comes Broughton for New Jersey. In across the blue line. Leaves it off to Curvers. Now Holder goes in to take it in the corner. Up the boards to the point. It gets outside the line. And Cirella is back to center after it. Dumps it inside the Washington zone. 10:30 to play here in the second period. The Capitals have outshot the Devils 15-11 in this period, and New Jersey has scored on their only shot so far. Here's McLean cutting in. The play called offside against the Devils, though, and we'll have the face-off out in neutral ice. There's a break in the action with the score, the Capitals 2 and the Devils 2.
If you gotta go because the life's on the line, you better have it. Champion Battery. If you gotta go when it's 20 below, you better have it. Champion Battery. If you gotta go because the stork's arriving, you better have it. Champion. 700 cold cranking amps. Pound for pound, the most powerful battery you can buy. Guaranteed to start your car. Champion. You better have it.
Save $20 at Montgomery Ward Auto Express.
The Devils have tied this game up on a shorthanded goal by Patrick Sundstrom. We're tied up at 2. 10 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in this second period. Al Koken and Mike Forns with you. Capitals hockey on WDCA TV 20.
Curvers has it stolen. Now as Gustafson takes charge for the Capitals, gets across the blue line with Pivonka. Lead pass to Pivonka, knocked away by Curvers. And Cirella starts back now for New Jersey. Over to Patrick Sundstrom. He's tied up on the play. Gustafson steals for the Capitals. Over to Pivonka, and he tries to center, but Cirella moves it out. Up ahead to David Maley. Gets across the line. Drop pass on the right wing, and McLean fires. Puck bouncing away. Malarchuk, sprawling, has lost his goal stick. Now goes to pick it up, but the whistle blows from referee Andy Van Helleman. And there's going to be a hooking penalty coming here against Washington. Mike Gartner is going to go off the ice with a minor call for hooking at 10:17.
That is the 4th consecutive hooking call in this second period. And you see how Maley makes a nice little drop pass. And the hooking done in front on Sundstrom as he goes heading into the net. The hook in there done by Mike Gartner, and the Capitals really have had the play taken right to them by these New Jersey Devils. The Devils have hit and outskated the Capitals. The first shift, you see Kelly Miller busting out. He gets a penalty for the Capitals taken on him. But after that, the Capitals really have fallen flat, and it's been the New Jersey Devils who have physically dominated this second period. They're skating much better, and they are hitting much better than the Capitals are.
We've got Verbeek and Hatcher pushing and shoving as both try to get set up for the face-off, and linesman Gord Brosiker has to step in there to keep them apart. Hatcher certainly wants to make his presence known there on that line, but Verbeek's a gutty little player.
If that doesn't give you a perfect example of what type of player Pat Verbeek is, he's not going after anybody his size, which is tough to find out on the ice at 5'9". Here you got a guy in Kevin Hatcher who's 6'4", and Verbeek doesn't care. He'll go right after him, as he will anybody in the National Hockey League.
Driver shoots it into the corner. Here goes Broughton. Back to the point for Johnson. Power play hockey for New Jersey. The game is tied at 2. Broughton stuck at the right point. Now feeds it over. A wraparound attempt by Muller. They score! And Verbeek got the goal. The Devils take the lead on the power play, 3-2.
Exactly what I talked about earlier in the broadcast, the way the New Jersey power play has done such a great job of getting at least one guy established in the front to pounce on rebounds. And here is Verbeek doing the job. Usually Muller is the guy in that position, but he's the guy who makes the move in. But look how nobody takes Verbeek out of there. Dale Hunter tries. Here you got a guy who's 5'9", sneaks right behind Rod Langway, and Verbeek is in there. Has Hatcher twisted all around, goes after Muller, doesn't come after Verbeek. And the New Jersey power play, which has been hot as of late, coming into this game, they had scored 9 goals on their last 32 attempts. That covers 5 games. And here they hit tonight twice. So the power play really connecting, and it's connecting in that slot area. The Capitals with 2 big defensemen out there, and nobody clears out a 5'9" guy like Pat Verbeek. He gets the goal.
Stolen puck as the Devils keep the pressure on. Now here's Peter Sundstrom for the Capitals ahead to Bob Gould, and he throws it all the way down back into New Jersey ice. Verbeek, the leading goal scorer of the Devils, now has 21 on the season. Muller and Broughton assisting on that play. Here's a loose puck in front, and a shot tipped wide right in the goal mouth. Craig Laughlin had it right hovering over the line, and it was swatted away from in front by Gordy Mark. Mike Richard's pass is stolen. Here comes Sullivan firing. And Stevens was able to slow down Brendan Shanahan in front of the net. Time of the Devils' goal, 10:39. Verbeek from Muller and Broughton on the power play. Laughlin shoots it in. It rides the shelf of the boards. And here's Greg Adams firing. That shot deflected. Greg Smith keeps it inside the zone. Greg Smith bumped by Maley. Dale Hunter in there to get a piece of it. Here's Hunter out to Laughlin. He fires. It hits Sauvé in the shoulder, and the Devils clear it out. Adams charging in. He's hauled down on the play by Mark. Now Dave Christian tries to work over David Maley in the corner. Hunter's bumped by Mark. Greg Smith a shot. Saved by Sauvé. The rebound still loose in the face-off circle. And the Devils clear it out. Now we've got 2 players down right in the New Jersey zone. And there's going to be a minor penalty here as Maley and Christian got tied up. The penalty will be to Maley. There's a break in the action. The Devils lead the Caps 3-2.
It's a pathway that leads from here to tomorrow, from sea to shining.
To stars Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux. Saturday's game versus Edmonton is sold out, but tickets do remain for the Pittsburgh game Friday, New Year's Day at 1:35. And as an extra bonus, all fans 16 and under receive a street hockey stick courtesy of JCPenney. Tickets available at all Hex Ticket Centers, or call phone charge at 432-0200. Operators there tonight until 10 p.m.
Minor penalty to David Maley for holding at 12:15 of the second period. The Capitals have the power play. Here's Gustafson to start out of his own zone. Up to Gartner. Mike Gartner flips it back inside. the New Jersey end. Sauve into the corner. Patrick Sundstrom tries to start out. Gartner steals the puck. A backhand shot by Scott Stevens is on net. Sauve the save. Now here's Gartner. Up the boards to Murphy from Gustafson. Back to Gustafson. Larry Murphy over to Scott Stevens. Fires and a save. Rebound. Oh, and Hunter got it around Sauve, but shot it behind him and then wide of the net. Gustafson back in the corner to Gartner. He's tied up. Gustafson gets the puck. Goes to the point man, Larry Murphy. Over to Scott Stevens. A slap shot right into Patrick Sundstrom, who drops to block it. Wolanin behind the net. Nails Gustafson. He clotheslined Gustafson. The Caps score on the play. I don't know if there was going to be a penalty or not coming, but the Caps score on a wraparound goal after Gustafson was clotheslined right behind the New Jersey net. Washington is hit with a power play goal to tie the game.
Boy, Ben Gustafson paid the price for a great play. I'm sure this is going to be Dale Hunter with his second of the night, second power play goal. Watch Hunter, or watch Gustafson with that stick up. A real cheap shot by Wolanin to get the stick around the neck of Gustafson. But Wolanin's not paying attention to the puck. He's more interested in beheading Ben Gustafson, and watch how it sneaks on free. Dale Hunter sweeps it up, boom, pops it right past Bob Sauve to get the Capitals tied back up in this game. No excuse for any hockey player to have your stick like that. Now, Andy Van Hellemond is trying to explain to Bob Gould and David Christian why he's not making any other kind of call. Bob Gould's still petitioning, but Gustafson pays the price, but he gets the puck loose, and Dale Hunter does the work to tie this game up. More specialty team goals.
Gustafson gets an assist at 13:29. Hunter gets his second of the night and 13th of the season. Power play goal for the Capitals. 4 power play goals in this game and 2 shorthanded. We're tied at 3, and everything's split right down the middle. Each team with 2 power play scores and 1 shorthanded goal. Malarchuk decides to hang on to it at the side of the net. That'll stop play with 5:56 to go here in the second period.
What a big goal that proves to be for the Washington Capitals. They were in danger of really getting blown out of this second period. It had been all New Jersey after the first shift. But the Capitals get something established on the power play and finally get maybe a little momentum going their way, as it has been all New Jersey in this second period. The hitting definitely has been picked up by the New Jersey Devils, and the Capitals have not responded in kind so far. But that power play tally takes a little bit of the heat off, and see what kind of pressure now they can establish in the New Jersey zone. They've got to get some shifts put together. You know, you get one line that's out there hitting a few people, then the next 2 lines come out and are throwing the puck away. It's got to be a 4-line, 6-defense effort. That's how you play those 60-minute hockey games. You can't depend on one line or your power play unit to get everything done. Capitals have to get something established at even strength, and they haven't done it in this second period.
Greg Smith flips it out to center ice. It's batted down by Patrick Sundstrom into the corner. A centering pass off Maley. Now Laughlin tries to get a stick on it, but he's tripped up. Back come the Devils on the play. Here comes McLean. Langway along the sideboards to Greg Smith. Starts it ahead. Greg Adams flips it across the line. Adams ties up with Bruce Driver. Into the corner go Adams and Driver as they push and shove, and the puck thrown behind the net. At the point, Scott Stevens keeps it in to Laughlin. He drives it wide of the goal. Hunter chasing it behind the net. Chased by McLean. Over to Greg Adams. Sorella pins him to the boards. And the puck comes back over to Hunter. Hunter in front. Gustafson backhands it just wide, or Peter Sundstrom rather, sending it wide of the net. Now to Greg Smith. Out to Adams, who has lost his helmet. Fires a shot on net. The save to Sauve. Hunter scrambles for the rebound. The puck is still loose. Here's a shot by Sundstrom. He didn't get it underway. His brother, Patrick Sundstrom, blocked it. Here comes Patrick Sundstrom for New Jersey across the line. Tries to flip it in front, but Scott Stevens takes over. And a lead pass out now to Kelly Miller. Miller hits Bobby Gould. Backhands just wide of the net. Here's Larry Murphy. Down the middle for Bob Gould. Loiselle takes it back now for the Devils. Putting it back inside the Washington zone. Scott Stevens circles the net. Out to Gould at the blue line, taken over by Wolanin. Here's Stevens out to center ice. Gould from the red line. Drives in a high, hard shot. Sauvé makes the glove save. Both clubs at full strength. 3:50 to play here in the second period. The game tied at 3. The puck knocked down by Loisel's high stick, but as it's played by Malarchuk, the action continues. Here comes Pivonka up ahead to Murphy. Murphy to the blue line. Tosses it in. Gustafson has to chase it back to center. Sullivan slash works it free, and Bill Holder back to pick it up now for the Capitals. Up to Mike Gartner on the right wing. Sullivan takes it back. Holder handles the puck back in his own zone, but as he was checked by Shanahan, the play is called offside against New Jersey. There's a break in the action. This game is tied at 3.
Are also in action tonight. At halftime, they're behind the Portland Trail Blazers 63-51. And next action on DC 20 for the Bullets, January 8th from the fabled Boston Garden. Larry Bird and the Celtics take on the Bullets. You'll see it right here on your superstation for sports, DC 20.
Rod Langway back in the corner after it. Put behind the net. Here's Bob Gould. Crawls right over Broughton. Gets the puck out to center ice. Picked up there by Hatcher. Here's Kevin Hatcher across the line. Looking for Gould in front. Fires a shot on goal, and Sauvé hangs on to stop play. Now we're talking about the Caps being just 6 points away from first place in their division, and certainly that's not a playoff spot, surprisingly enough, as of today. But, you know, 35 points would tie for first in the Norris division. It would tie for third in the Smythe division, and it would place you third in the Adams division. I've had somebody say that the Patrick division isn't the best division in this league.
But it's also, you know, the Capitals looking at a situation where they really have not played that many Patrick division games. Here the Devils have played the Islanders 4 times already, and the Islanders and Rangers have played each other, I think, 3 times already, and the Capitals haven't seen any other Patrick division opponent more than a couple times. So there are plenty of games left with Patrick division opponents. That's why it's so important for the Capitals to get themselves on track now. That's where you start to do your damage head-to-head against those Patrick division teams.
The Capitals have a record of 3 wins, 6 losses, and a tie against Patrick division clubs, while the Devils are 9-6-2 so far. They've done a lot of damage within this division. Muller throws it inside the Washington zone, and it deflects up into the crowd, out of play.
Devils have done most of their damage here in this building. They really have started to turn things around and have used this building to their advantage, and the people are starting to come out. Looks like another sellout crowd here tonight. You've obviously have a holiday week situation, which helps, but the bottom line, as it is in any franchise, they're starting to win. They're starting to play some exciting hockey, and guys like Kirk Muller doing the job offensively, defensively, and leading this team as the captain has got people coming out, and he's a guy that people are starting to identify with. New Jersey's so anonymous for so many years, even in this metropolitan region. Everybody still talked about the Rangers and Islanders. Now guys like Kirk Muller are becoming stars, and people are starting to know about the New Jersey Devils.
The Devils struggling on the road. 5 wins, 11 losses, 3 ties, while at home, a good record that Al talked about, 13 wins, 4 losses, and 1 tie. Sauvé lobs it behind the net into the corner for McLean. It comes out of the zone, and a break here for Patrick Sundstrom around Scott Stevens. Back to Maley. He fires just wide of the net. Into the corner for Bruce Driver. Out comes Hunter with the puck for the Capitals. Dale Hunter up with Christian, and Dave Christian in before the puck. Offside is called.
But Patrick Sundstrom has played a sensational game tonight. This game is tied up at 3. We'll be back after these messages.
Face-off just outside the blue line of the Devils zone. 3-3 score between Washington and New Jersey with 1.5 minutes to play here in period number 2. At the point, Bill Holder's shot blocked to the corner. On the rebound, it's taken behind the net by Greg Adams. He tries to work his way in front. Laughlin helps him out, goes out back for Holder. His drive from the point is blocked. Devils coming out of that one smelling like a rose, as the Caps had a lot of pressure on in the New Jersey end. Loisel to the center line, and here's Greg Adams to start back. Leads it over to Mike Richard. His drive. Blocked by Sauve. Doug Sullivan hustles down the ice to Loisel. Walks in and fires. And a save by Malarchuk. Holder managed to clear the rebound. We're in the final minute of play in the period. Michael Pavanka up to Larry Murphy. Murphy back to Pavanka. Turns on his backhand and stuffs it toward the net. But Sauve makes a pad save. Gartner's drive goes wide of the net. Picked up on the right wing now by rookie Doug Brown. Here's Brown to center. Back into the corner. Langway trying to get it to Gartner, but he's tied up by Broughton with 20 seconds to go in the period. Here's Gustafson out to Gartner, left side of the rink for Scott Stevens. Pavanka takes over once again. Gustafson collides with Verbeek, and they both go flying. 7 seconds left in the period. Lead pass to Gustafson. Flips it in across the line as time runs out here in period number 2, and the Capitals fell behind during the second period, but came back with the goal by Dale Hunter to counter the scores from Patrick Sundstrom and Pat Verbeek. And we're now tied up at 3-3 after 40 minutes of play. Shots on goal in the second period. New Jersey with only 5 at 2 for a total of 15. And the Capitals coming up with 14 shots on net for a total of 26 after 2 periods. More hockey when we come back after this.